Pour a cup and connect with us today as we talk about the importance of female friendships. This is
Mugs and Mercy!
Cheers! All right, welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about the importance of female friendships, something near and dear to each of us as females and who need friendship.
But first, Christine, what's in your mug?
Why, I'm glad you asked. Actually, it's the same exact thing as last time. It's my pour over decaf with maple syrup, not syrup, and some half and half, which actually last time I accidentally said cream, which is an important difference because cream is cream, y'all. Half and half is just half and half. So just half and half in it today. That's what's in my mug. How about you, Em?
What's in your mug?
In my mug, in my Peter Rabbit mug, one of these mugs I never use because I love it so much, from my sister bear, is a Starbucks raspberry mocha decaf. And they actually have raspberry in season right now, so I'm very happy about that. So it's like one of my favorite drinks. Katie, what's in your mug?
This is It's Hard to Be a Beauty When Mornings Are a Beast mug. It has Belle on it, and it's yellow, which is my favorite color. And it's an iced coffee. I know, I'm a big iced coffee fan, with maple syrup, because Christine suggested that last time, and just some milk. Whole milk.
We have a Disney theme with this one over here.
Of course.
I have a lot of Disney mugs as well. Okay.
Mine's a vintage stoneware Alaska mug, and it's very cool and retro. Stolen from my parents.
So, Christine, I know you started introducing us to our topic today.
Mm-hmm.
We all, when we were brainstorming for the episodes, we knew that this was one that we wanted to start off one of our first few episodes with.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about why female friendship is important to you.
Well, here's the thing. When this topic immediately made me think of this anecdote, and I think you were there, Emily, and I don't know if this is when we were...
I was, and I forgot that you were there, and I'm like, this has been something that's always stuck with me since long before either of us were even married.
Yeah.
This has been like a thing in our minds.
Okay. Well, let's find out if you were there too, Katie.
Okay.
We were in Alaska, by the way.
I have been there, but I don't know
yes.
if I was there this time.
I lived there at one time. We'll get to that another.
Okay. Well, let's just tell our listeners. We had a family vacation in Alaska at one point and during the summer, and then later on Emily lived there for a year. And I did visit her. So that's why I'm not sure which trip this was, but that's a little bit on our Alaskan history. Anyways, but there was a woman there from the church who was talking to us young ladies, very young adults. And she was saying, like, your husband is not going to be your best friend. They're not going to be everything you need. Like, you need to have the women in your life to fill those roles, to fulfill those needs. And I was scandalized. I was like, are you kidding? I'm going to marry Prince Charming and he's going to be,
And
the one and only thing that you ever need,
Yeah, it wasn't like don't get your hopes up. He's not going to be. It's like, it was more like, you're going to want a lot out of life, and you can't expect that all from your husband. It's important to keep women in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it was not anything against husbands.
Yeah,
of course.
but it was also like, it was like, what? But then once you're married, it makes sense. Like, it's not that they're not your best friend, but it's that you have other friendships.
Yeah,
well, fill that role.
And as Mindy Kaling once said, like, best friends is like a tier. It's not like a single position. Mm-hmm. And I can relate to that because, like, my husband is one of my best friends, but he's not a female, that's for sure. And like, there's like things that we need, that we can only find in our fellow females. Katie, did you have something?
Well, it just made me think of with relationships between husband and wife, like, I forget who. There was like a relationship expert who was sharing, but they were saying one of the struggles people have with modern marriages is we have tried to make our spouse our everything, our person who we expect to be the person who does everything, is everything emotionally for us, all of that, and that's too much to put on one person.
The village, right?
And I don't know, I was like starting to tear up as you were saying it, because I have had I mean, as you were talking about my husband, because my husband is like my best friend in
Same,
that,
yeah.
you know, but
Right.
I feel like I have kind of put too much on him sometimes, to be like the only, not the only person, like I, you know, but there's times I've like genuinely felt disconnected from other women, and and it's like not been fair to him to like ask him to be everything for me, but also like I feel like I've missed that, you know.
So. Just to give you a minute,
we have
and-
tissues
tissues
handy,
on hand.
so
just to tag on to that, sometimes I'll be like a mess or something, and I'll be like going on, and my husband won't give me the response I want, and he'll be like, call your sister. Go call, like, I don't want a part of it, just call your sister. And not that the like husbands aren't a support most of the time, but like it like Christine said,
They're still boys.
a village. But they're boys. They don't think the same way we think, and they want to fix things, and sometimes you just want someone to be like, girl, I get you,
Yeah, I know Nas always tells me to call my mom.
My mom as well is another, my mom and sister, and now Katie. I want to say this. I wanted to say this on the first episode, but I've been thinking about it for a while. But Christine is always, she's like my closest friend. I always text her when I'm like having a bad day. We both go back and forth. And I was like, oh, what would I do without Christine? And then a couple weeks ago, we were at church. Katie and I were at church, and I was having a really difficult time, like a mom day. I was just having a difficult mom day. And I was like, and Katie and I were both like having our kids in like the cry family room. And I was like, Katie, like, I'm ruining everything. This is so hard. And Katie's like, Emily, they're good. The kids are going to be fine, and you're going to be fine. And it was like, I had tears. I was like, and then like later, I don't even know if you knew how big of a deal that was, but just to say, like, have someone tell you it's fine. Like sometimes you just need that female support. Another, like,
Well, like
she happens
knowing
to be
that someone
another,
understands too, I think,
because she happens to be
really
another
helpful.
mom. But like, even if we were just both single women, like having someone in the same walk of life as you, who's like, it's okay, you're gonna make it through. It meant the world. It just shows how important those connections are. Connections from last time.
Glad I can help.
So these two women are like just what have gotten me through life lately, and I'm so thankful for our friendship, and I feel like we're really rekindling it.
Refreshing,
Yes.
I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to just say, God bless our husbands who try their best.
I know they
try
really
their
are wonderful.
best to fill the voids.
We'll use another episode to talk about how great they are.
Yeah. and moms who care. We're lucky to have moms as females also in our lives. And like I was thinking about like when you're in school, like school age, and you have your girlfriends, especially like high school, you get like really close to a couple people. And like how as you grow up, this is my experience or feeling, like as you grow up, you have to spread out a lot more. Like you're not going to see that person every day. You can't just rely on like just one person to just be there constantly, because like when you're in school together, unless you're homeschooled, then it's your siblings, if you're have them. Like my girls, they're like best friends for now because they're together every day. Anyways, yeah, so like as a young adult and now adulthood and motherhood, like you have to have more friends, like, and like I have to have a friend here at this location, like at church, I have to have someone I can text in the middle of the night. I have to like, you have your mom friends, you have your friends that you do this or that with or whatever, I feel like it takes a lot of work, but I don't know, have you guys experienced that, like that need changes as you become an adult and a mother?
Yes, absolutely. I think, like you're saying, like there's kind of the different physical places that you might be where you have different friends, like at church, or maybe your family who are also your friends who, you're going to be going to all these gatherings with and stuff, but we're probably just by nature going to continue to be close because we're family. And I will say, like, I feel like I struggle with, like, because we just moved like 2 months ago, and I'm really excited to be here because I have oftentimes, I think, struggled with initially making friends. And I feel like, I'm very happy to be like physically close to you two again. And I also, like, at our new church and stuff, I'm already like really making some close connections.
Yeah.
And I feel like I haven't had that in a really long time. And even like there's a woman at church who has a child with special needs, just like I have a child with special needs, so I'm like connecting with her on that front. And then there's several women that, like, even though we haven't known each other that long, I just like, I feel like I can really talk to them, and like
You're busier than ever now because
Yes.
it's like hanging out with people and stuff.
Yeah. And that's something I guess I would ask, because I have not been the best at like maintaining friendships, and I guess that makes me like, sometimes I haven't been the best friend to others, and I want to do a better job at that. I feel like, and forgive me, like, you know, but like I feel like you have done a pretty good job, like maintaining friendships over the years. I don't know, just like,
yeah.
well, sure.
You put in the work.
Yeah. No, I'm just, I if you had any
I'm a good
advice
texter these
for
days.
not a texter.
She said she's a good texter.
Oh, good texter.
Yeah,
Okay. Sorry, I misheard.
And meme sender. That's what keeps
Well,
things going.
And maybe like ideas that you have, or you know, any of us maybe can say like, oh, I if maybe I should try this, even if I haven't been good in the past at friendships.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, I feel the same way. I've always had like one or two close friends in my life, and some have like fallen away or things have changed, and it's been really difficult. But I feel like more now than ever, I feel like the importance of friendship is so important. And I've had in the last couple of years like the most friends I've ever had, and I feel like I'm embracing like the extrovert side of me because I'm like realizing how much I love it. But
Can I say,
know.
I think maybe was part of that me moving away, letting you have to like make more friends?
I think that's what happened because like our church, a lot of like our friends used to be like Christine's friends, and then I was like the little sister. So when Christine moved away, my whole family, Katie, my mom, my aunt and uncle, like everybody except my brother and mother-in-law, moved away. So I was kind of forced to build a village, not like oh, Christine's gone, now I'm gonna party or something, but like I just ended up happening that way. And then like my life changed, I had kids, and so I got more mom friends. It's hard for me because like I've had friends that like could be watching this, and I'm like, I haven't talked to in forever, and I'm like thinking like I love you and I want to reconnect, and it's just hard because I do know the importance of it. And like literally I have like a list of people that I want to reconnect with and just at least check in with.
Something that kind of just came to mind is like, we do make a lot of friendships over time, over the years, of which I have lived many. I'm the old wise one here. but like, yeah, I think about friends I had when I was single and a young adult, and those are the main relationships in your life, and like you have to shift focus when you get married and have kids. And it's like kind of unfortunate you don't have as much time, but it's also the natural season of life, And I was thinking back to friends I used to hang out with all the time that I don't talk to anymore, not on purpose, you just go your own ways, you live in your own life. And I'm like, I think that's okay. Like if I saw them, I would be so excited and love them as much as ever. But like, I think it's okay that, we only have so much bandwidth. If we really lived in villages, we wouldn't be switching villages all the time. We wouldn't have like, oh, let's combine 4 villages, and you still have to remember everyone's name and stuff. Like the world and life we live in, it's a lot of upkeep, So I think to love someone, you don't have to always be in touch with them, but there are those friendships that you lean on that you do never lose contact, like.
Yeah.
And I think along the lines of like the village analogy, like you have your main people who are in your life, like in these circumstances right now. But I know my mom has some really good friends who she doesn't see for like a year or years, and then they do pick up right where they left off.
Mm-hmm.
And so with like the village analogy, it's like you kind of live in your village, and those are your people you connect with every time. But if the other village were to visit, you're going to welcome them. And you know, but I think that idea of like the responsibility to maintain every relationship to the same level that it was when you were in another place in life, or physically
That's
in another
asking
place.
a lot.
Yeah,
Just
like, well, and then those friendships aren't going to be as close because you're spreading yourself to these different people. And I think if we were to have true relationships, like with close people who we really can talk to and support one another, it's going to likely be with people who are in a similar place in life, whether physically or circumstantially or whatever. But it's going to be like better friendships. And I think we also should keep an eye out for people maybe who haven't connected. You know, if there's someone new who comes into our life, like giving a chance to like, hey, like let's bring that person in and see maybe we can have a good connection
I was
and
gonna
support that other
ask
person.
you too, because you both have had close friends that you don't talk to as much. What would you guys recommend, especially if there's any sort of, not like animosity, but if there's just like, oh, it's awkward, I haven't talked to them for a while. What would you guys recommend how to get back in touch with that person and letting them know that they still matter to you?
I feel like it sounds silly, but like sending a meme, you know, like something you have in common that you can kind of, that it's liked and you can kind of like reconnect over.
Ice.
Yeah, it breaks the ice. Or, you know, sometimes I'll just text someone and be like, I've been thinking of you for months. How's things, you know? It depends so much on the person though, and the relationship and what you're, you know, like I have some friends who I'll just text them every 4 months or something, be like, thinking of you, how are you, you know? And it's not a good replacement for like the relationship that we could have if we were close together physically, but I just don't want her to forget that I love her, you know. I don't think she will, but you
And
know,
humor really is healing. I've realized more and more that like that's like my love language is humor. That's why I'm like goofy and stuff a lot, because laughing with someone is like my love language. So if I have, but yeah, like so I love connecting over stupid memes and reels. It shows love.
Well, it does, but it does, because you're actually like you're watching that reel or whatever, and you're going, "Oh, I think this person would enjoy this," or the meme or whatever, you know. And you're it's directly like, I'm sending this to you because I think that this would brighten your day.
Yeah,
and that's a really nice thing.
There's always those like reels you listen to and you're like, who would appreciate this the way I think this is funny or whatever? And then like, who does this make me think of? Like, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Modern day bonding, we could say.
Well, I know that's been something they've researched with like romantic relationships, like those kind of connections, like shared, like I'm thinking of you and I think you would enjoy this with me, shows like that the relationship is still healthy. And so obviously we're not talking about romantic relationships, but I think the same kind of concept
totally applies. Yeah.
applies.
So I think one of the elements here is that, you know, a lot of people are isolated these days. We all know how hard it is to make friends, especially if you don't have a sister or cousin at all or close to you. And I've gone through some seasons of life where I've been very isolated and like very alone, and it's so hard to keep the connections that you've already had or make new connections. So I want to hear from you guys, what you guys would say can address that issue, if you have anything to say.
Send them some reels.
So who though?
I know. So like people who are lonely and need to make friends.
Yeah.
What would you recommend? I think a big thing for me is like joining communities. For instance, like church, you know, but not everyone even goes to church or goes to a church where they feel like they can make friends. So like a couple years ago, I did like theater and I made some like lifelong friends there. joining a dance class, or finding like a mom group. Mom groups are huge. Like, I've never done it, but I've had friends who are like swear by it. Like, they meet every Friday and go for a walk, or something like just like a women's walking group, or like one thing I've always wanted to do, and maybe I'll get these two ladies to do it with me one day, is like a grown-up baseball or softball league or something like that. Like, I think that would be so much fun. But like, those are the situations that are like kind of silly and out there, but you can like literally make like lifelong friendships. You're like, how did I not have this person in my life this whole time? Because I've made friends in the last couple of years, like at church and theater and stuff, that I'm like, I can't believe I've only known you a couple of years. Like, I feel like I've known you so long, and it really helps me get out of the box, when I'm lonely.
As someone who has struggled with the making and maintaining these friendships, I'll share from the perspective of, because I'm majorly an introvert, so that's part
Same
of what's
here.
hard.
Mhm.
Because I want to have these friends and connections, but I do really well if it's like a close person. Like, big group things are like, you're an extrovert, so I think like the big group mom walk or whatever might be a better fit.
I do well with big groups. Yes, I do.
Yeah. And so for me, I think I've wanted it. Like, I've wanted those connections, but the motivation to actually like make the effort that it takes to like make a close enough relationship that I really feel like comfortable is hard. And so I don't have like this amazing piece of advice for it. Like, if you all can think of something, go for it. I think the biggest thing is like, you have to consciously make the choice to put in the effort. Like, I'm going to go attend this thing, even if it's hard, to see what connection I can make. And then maybe later on, you've made that connection with someone, and you can have the more one-on-one coffee date that is more comfortable for an introvert.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, because obviously we work a little differently, the three of us, like extroverted. Not that I'm like, I get shy and stuff, but I like. Christine
you
doesn't
know?
think so. I get shy, but I don't always act it, maybe. But okay, so do you guys prefer, like, if you're getting to know someone, like a group of people, or one-on-one? Like, if you're getting to know someone.
One-on-one.
Oh my gosh, what about you?
A small group, maybe.
That blows my mind. Because I'm like, that's when I get the most socially awkward, if I don't know someone and we're just like hanging out, like, I'm like, how do I, like, I try to like meld my personality to them, but like I've been having a few girl dates lately, where it's just like one-on-one, and I love it, but it's like with people I already know pretty well. But like a new person, I'm like, I just like the bigger group the better.
You need someone to work off of too.
I feel like the more people, the more it like buffers it,
Yeah.
like, so I can be a little crazier, and at least it'll hit with someone.
That's what,
you know what I
like,
mean?
I just went to a small group recently, and yeah, it's like you get to know a little bit of everyone. I think maybe everyone in that group is an introvert or something, because it's very
Maybe
quiet.
that's what made it work.
It was, but I try to like make them chuckle a little or whatever. But I feel like if it was just one-on-one with a new person, it would be like too intimidating.
No, and I guess
unless they're an extrovert and can drag it out of me,
When I say one-on-one, I'm kind of thinking someone I at least like somewhat know. Like, maybe we've sat at coffee hour and talked after church, and then we're like, oh, let's go have dinner, and then I feel more comfortable.
I would never do a blind date. That's like my biggest fear. Not that I need to now, obviously, but funny. Like, that's like a horrible fear for me.
Well, and I will say, like, where you're saying you really like that kind of big group energy, like, I oftentimes find I like don't know what to say, so I end up, especially if it's like I really don't know anybody in the group, like I find myself kind of on the outskirts, like not really knowing what to say or how to like interject my thoughts.
I feel like I used to be that way. I might have even used to be more of an introvert, even though I've always liked people around, but like as I've gotten older, I feel like I'm like more confident, and it just comes more naturally. I don't know. Because but like a one-on-one makes me more nervous.
Well, I think as we're talking, I'm like, for our viewers or listeners, I think that maybe starting by identifying like, oh, which category do you kind of fall into, introverted, extroverted, somewhere in between, like what actually would put you in a situation where you're going to have a positive connection as you're trying to
That's a
make
very
more
good
friends.
point. That's a very good point. What I was thinking about trying to make new connections with as an adult woman. First of all, if you're a churchgoer, like getting involved at church, you have that in common. So like, and to varying degrees, sometimes there's inquirers or new converts or old ladies who know everything or think they do, but like just kind of rubbing elbows with like-minded people, and like having patience and giving things a second chance. Like, I remember like going into a new situation and be like, I didn't find my best friend, like right off the bat, like you didn't have that spark that where you just click with someone from the new group or whatever. And like don't let that be the last word, like give it another try. Like I take time to warm up, maybe they do too, like you have to like grow comfortable and give it a chance as long as it's worth your time, like you feel like it would be worth your time with that
This
person or group.
And to piggyback off that, this is my advice, that I'm always trying to take for myself too, because a lot of times you feel like the other person, like everyone else knows each other and gets along and is clicking, and they don't understand your jokes or your they don't relate to your lifestyle or whatever. Um, Once you get past that and realize everyone has that feeling at some time or the other, and like for instance at our church, I know we keep talking about it, but it's new because we've just moved here. When we first started going, it felt like everyone knew each other, especially like my family that was already here before me, and like getting to know other people in the church, I was like, I'm the other person, I'm the one that's like new and stuff. But once I realized like half the church is like newcomers also, and I'm like, oh, they're like, I'm not the only one. Everyone, we're all in it together, and you don't have to always feel like the other person. You can be the person you want to be without you. Like once you get that out of your mind, it helps a lot. Does that make sense?
I had a couple last thoughts before we move on, but first of all, I wanted to say also pray about it, because we're supposed to lean on Christ, we're supposed to lean on God. Jesus is our friend, but also in a very different way than like real women in your life. And I think part of how he loves us is through the people he puts in our life. So like if you need a friend, someone you can relate to, just keep praying about it. Just really intentionally keep praying about it until God puts someone in your life that you can have that connection with.
So it's pretty much like my favorite quote of all
Ever.
time is in Les Miserables. It's to love another person is to see the face of God. And I've always
That's a
think
good
of
one.
that, and it makes you think, the person you see walking on the street, or, somebody you don't really like, but like you're learning to love them. As you learn to love them, you learn to love God. But like friendships and the women in your life who are normally easier to love, it just like they can represent Christ to us, and we can see Christ in them. And I love that because it's so true. And it really puts into perspective how important each relationship with anyone is, but especially your friends.
I think of that when I'm struggling with whatever value or worth or lovability of myself, and I'm like, how could God love me? I'm such a messed up person. And like if I'm talking to you or my husband about it, and they react in this loving way, like, and I'm like, okay, how could these people love me and forgive my mess or whatever, and not God? He's the one that gave them the love for me, that gave us that ability to love others who are not perfect, and yeah, I think that's just another example of how God works through the people, to love us and to remind us.
It all really boils down to love. That's how God works in us. That's like the goal of life, is to love each other and to love God. And so I think that's why I've realized over the years how important female friendships are. Very important.
Very important.
important.
Exactly.
Okay, anyways, there's more to be said about this, but I'm sure we'll discuss it over the course of our podcasts.
That's true.
But like this is a common theme with us, though, is connection, friendship, very important. And how are you guys going to connect with friends that you've lost contact over with, or what do you appreciate about your best friend? What were you gonna say? Sorry.
I said, or make new connections and new friendships. I also, nobody mentioned like a book club. I think that would be
Oh yeah,
a good one. So,
Mhm.
okay. So we're going to talk about our appreciations now. Katie, will you start us off?
Yes, I thought of a specific one.
Mhm.
I want to appreciate my husband, Nazo.
Aw. Aw.
The particular thing this week, we had we are renting out our house, our old house, and we had a lawn mowing company come in to make it look nice for the new tenants, and they accidentally broke our window, one of
Oh,
the
no.
sliding door windows. Yeah, I think a rock, kind of
Oh.
situation.
Yeah.
And so initially the company just emailed and they're like, "Oh, we'll give you like $200 to fix it," and they didn't even told us about, like, we were like, "What? Like, what broke? Like, what are you talking about?"
Oh, no.
And anyway, so he has been on and off the phone and emailing with them all week to actually get, because it's a lot more than $200 to fix it when you account for the labor and everything. So he actually went through.
Welcome to being a landlord. That's so
Right.
hard.
But he went through and like actually got people to go in and give quotes of like exactly what it's going to be to repair this, and got it to be where we don't have to pay for it since it wasn't us who broke it. So but that kind of stuff is like, I hate dealing with that kind of stuff, and he just did it, and I'm very
Yes.
appreciative of him for dealing with
We're all
that.
given different gifts of like what we can do and not do.
What's your appreciation, Emily?
Today, I was driving here, and someone honked at me, and I was like, "Arr," and then I let her in, and it was like this lady who was like waving at me, like, "Thank you for letting me in," and I was just like, "Thank you for all the people that when you let them in, or when they like walk across and they like wave to you, and there's like this little moment of like connection, you know." I just love that. I feel like such a like a one of the humans, like when someone like looks at you and they go like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, we just bonded, even though we can't hear each other. We'll never see each other again." It's like this random thing. I like when people do like, take the time, because some people just go,
Right.
and I'm just like, it's the simplest little thing, but it makes life so much easier. She's
Little
probably in a really
moments
big
of
hurry.
kindness.
Yes.
Mhm.
So when you're driving down the street and someone lets you in, take a moment to like wave to them.
Oh, the humanity.
Yeah.
This sounds cheesy or whatever, but I'm thankful for both of you. I'm appreciative of the work that you guys have done to support this podcast, and yay.
I was joking when I was
No.
like,
But yeah, I think as a team we all offer a little something, and couldn't do it without you gals. So thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
thank you.
thank you. Okay. All right, and our final little segment is about our monthly goals. Report for duty.
Okay.
Katie.
My goal was to finish organizing and unpacking, getting my house together. It's slow progress, but progress is happening. I with my
Yay.
oldest son, we organized and made the bathrooms look really pretty, and he had a lot of fun. He kind of over organized a little bit. He had taken some stuff like out of where I'd already put it and put it all like close together, but it was very cute.
It looks
And-
really good. I was there Friday.
Yes. So it's, slow and steady, but we're doing.
That's what wins the race.
Woo!
Oh
Emily?
no. I'm still working on mine.
Remind us what your goal is
my
for
goal
our new
is to
viewers.
reset my circadian rhythm and go to bed on a reasonable time and wake up at a reasonable time. I sound like a child or something, but it's really hard, especially if you have like ADHD and stuff, or any sort of neurodivergence can be correlated to like insomnia and lack of sleep. So it's something I'm working through. Still going strong, trying to fight the good fight, but not quite there yet. But but I'll get back to you in a week to see if I've made more progress.
All right.
Just being honest. No, there was one night where I went to bed at a decent hour and I felt like well rested. So,
Wow.
oh no.
Well, that's something. My goal was to write regularly for Writer Wednesday and Haiku Friday on my Instagram to get me writing again. So the past 2 Wednesdays, I wrote something for Writer Wednesday, and for the past 2 Writer Wednesdays, I posted it to my stories, and maybe I clicked away too soon or something, and it did not post.
Oh.
2 weeks in a row. So I'm like, hey guys, I did write it. It just nobody saw it, and I lost it forever.
I was wondering about that because I was like, I think I checked and I saw, yeah. I didn't
And I'm
see it.
like sitting there waiting for somebody to like it, you know? Never came. I'm like,
Aw.
wow, that one fell flat. Oh, it's not even there, you know? And so,
Yeah.
and yesterday was Friday, and I forgot that yesterday was Friday, so I did not do a haiku yesterday. I'm sorry, everybody, but it's just because I don't always know what day of the week it is. I'm it's gonna get
We're
back
just
on
keeping
track.
it real today about our updates.
Gonna keep it back on track.
We're gonna do it though. We're gonna get there with our goals. Yep.
I'll see
Absolutely.
you when we get there.
All right, everyone.
If we ever get there.
Last thing, last thing, our social medias and everything will be attached. So if you want to find us like on our various excursions and adventures, like her husband and her other channels, her writing page, my other channels, be linked down below. Okay. So all right.
All right. Thank you for hanging out with us today.
Yes. All right. All right. Thanks for connecting with us today, guys. Let's cheers. Woohoo. See you next time.
This has been another Mugs and Mercy. We don't have to keep that in.
Bye.
A fade. Fade
Bye.
out.
Slowly back away.